The Burned Tower's Undead Watchers. The burned tower loomed in the heart of the city, a blackened skeleton against the night sky. It had been abandoned for years after a tragic fire consumed its upper floors, claiming dozens of lives. Locals whispered about strange lights and shadows moving behind the shattered windows, but no one dared to enter. Except for Chris and his friends. They were thrill seekers, always chasing the next adrenaline rush. When rumors of the haunted tower reached their ears, they couldn't resist. Armed with flashlights and bravado, they decided to explore the ruins one fateful evening. The air around the building was thick with ash and silence. The smell of burned wood and something fouler lingered. Chris led the way, pushing open the heavy, soot-covered doors. Inside, the remnants of desks, chairs, and charred walls hinted at the bustling offices that once filled the space. "Creepy," muttered Sarah, clutching her flashlight. "Just a bunch of old ashes," scoffed Mark. "Let's head upstairs. That's where the real stories are." The group climbed the crumbling staircase, their footsteps echoing in the hollow tower. As they reached the third floor, Chris noticed the temperature drop. Their breaths misted in the air. "This place is colder than the outside," Sarah said, her voice shaking. "It's just the night chill," Mark replied, though his confidence faltered. As they ventured further, they heard faint shuffling noises. Chris froze, his flashlight beam cutting through the darkness. "Did you hear that?" he whispered. A shadow moved at the end of the hallway. It wasn't human. Its movements were jerky and unnatural. Chris's heart raced as he strained to see. "Let's go back," Sarah pleaded. "Relax," Mark said, though his voice cracked. "It's probably a stray animal." But the figure stepped into the light, and they saw it. Its flesh was charred and peeling, revealing bone and sinew beneath. Its hollow, lifeless eyes glowed faintly, and its mouth hung open in a silent scream. The group screamed, turning to run, but the creature moved with unnatural speed, blocking their path. More shuffling noises echoed from behind them, and when they turned, they saw several figures emerging from the shadows. "Run!" Chris shouted, leading the charge down the hallway. They burst into a stairwell and descending as fast as they could. But the zombies were relentless, their burnt bodies moving with horrifying agility. The group reached the ground floor, but the main door was blocked by debris. Desperation clawed at Chris as he searched for another exit. "This way," he yelled, spotting a side door. The group bolted toward it, but Sarah tripped, falling hard. Chris turned back, grabbing her arm to pull her up. A zombie lunged at them, its clawed hand grazing Sarah's ankle. Mark and the others managed to force the side door open. Chris and Sarah stumbled through, slamming it shut just as the zombies reached them. Outside, the group collapsed onto the pavement, gasping for air. Behind them, the faint sound of scratching and growling came from the other side of the door. They didn't wait to catch their breath. They ran, vowing never to return. But as they disappeared into the night, the burned tower stood silently, its undead residents waiting patiently for the next intruders to disturb their eternal vigil.